Hi everybody, I'm your host Ellen, and welcome to The Perfect Daughter, the podcast where I, a non-perfect daughter, discuss everyday life for teens/kids and everyday life of the world. In this episode, I interview my fabulous English teacher. She is a great teacher, has great style, and has some killer thoughts for teachers, students, and kids alike. In this episode, we talk about those thoughts and some advice that she has for people. We talk about how she got into teaching and some of her thoughts on teaching things like politics and world events in the classroom. My talk with Tony is great as usual, and I just wanted to say thank you to her real quick for doing all these episodes. She is the greatest friend and greatest co-host ever, and I know that the talk with Tony is some of your guys' favorite parts of the show, so just sending you all of my love. You are the best, and I'm so lucky to do this show with you. I know we all love you so much. So grab your lunch pails, your backpacks, your notepads, your pencils, your coloring papers, whatever, your computers, and get ready for this school-themed episode of The Perfect Daughter. So our first question is, how did you become a teacher?
I actually studied, I started in college as a pre-med major.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I'm going to become a doctor. I wanted to be a pediatrician. I knew I wanted to work with kids because I was big into horses as a kid, and I taught lessons, and then I taught like Sunday school, and I always played teacher, with my American Girl dolls. And so, I've always liked working with kids. But then I was like, I would go through some things as a doctor that I just don't feel like I want to take on, the pressures. Yeah. And then so I was gonna be a veterinarian, and I was like, oh well, that's I can't deal with animal death either. So I was like, okay, what can I do? And I just studied English Lit for a little bit.
Okay, cool.
And then I was like, let me try going into a classroom, and then I fell in love with it, doing some observations. And so
that's really cool.
And I didn't go into it right away. I graduated from school, and I took a year before I was ready to go into the classroom.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
And but then I'm glad I waited, because I think being 22, 23 when you're teaching is really young.
Yeah. How, I guess you said you kind of how you knew you wanted to teach, kind of went over that, and then how long have you been teaching? I guess since you were 20s?
Yes, this is my 11th year. So I started when I was 24.
Cool. That's really cool. And what do you love about teaching? And you said you fell in love with it. What specifically do you love about teaching?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I love about it. I love seeing students develop throughout the year. A student coming to me day one is vastly different from a student on the last day. Yeah. Which is very cool, and I love seeing their growth. I love the creative aspect of teaching. I love to create lessons and think about how kids learn best, and teaching is like an experiment. You have to, no kid is the same and no kid learns the same, so you kind of have to trial and error different strategies, different activities to get them to learn. I like that. I love hearing kids talk about the work that we're doing, hearing them discuss big problems. I feel good. I feel hopeful. Teaching is an act of hope. So
yeah, cool. Let's see. What do you think makes for a good teacher? Or what do you think is the best way to help your students? Things like that.
Yeah, I think a great teacher can be many different things, and we can all be doing different things and still be great. But I think ultimately you have to have a learner's mindset, a growth mindset, that what worked maybe 3 years ago isn't going to work this year. So you have to be adaptable. I think you have to be kind of unflappable. You can't fly off the handle if something goes wrong. You have to kind of stay calm under pressure. And I do think having good boundaries, because I could spend all day working on a lesson to the detriment of my personal life. And so I think having a cutoff time is very important too for a good teacher. Cool.
Yeah. So in my podcast before, I did a mental health episode, and we've talked about it a little bit in class. So you work with students every day. So what is some advice you can offer to them about, how to keep a healthy mental health or,
I think the biggest thing I've been thinking about lately is the little lies our brains tell ourselves about things. So I hear a lot of kids say, like, oh, I have a C, I'm failing. Or they'll say, like, oh, I suck at this, I'm never going to get better. And those are just, like, lies your brain is telling you.
Yeah.
And so if you, like, dig into them enough, you can be like, hey, well, a C isn't actually failing, an F is failing.
Yeah.
And you can think about, like, what a grade actually means. And so I like to, like, talk back, like, to help students talk back to those thoughts. And I also think just like the simple act of remembering how to breathe,
Yeah.
like sometimes we've done the 4-7-8 breathing in class, like calming your nervous system down. What else? I think also just like finding movement is really important to me. So like I exercise in the morning before coming here. I think if kids are struggling, they should try to find some sort of movement throughout their day, or just even like journaling about what they're feeling, and knowing that like there are resources everywhere for them, especially at school. And so if they're struggling with something, they should find someone that they feel like they can talk to, or even if they're scared, but like you can't suffer alone.
Yeah. I think that's really good advice. And then what is some advice you have on how to balance like your school life and your personal life or extracurriculars?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I was in a lot of clubs, and then I was in 4-H. And so it can be a lot to juggle, but I think you have to kind of surround yourself with people who have the same values as you. So like if you have a study hall, and you notice that one of your friends is like playing games or just like talking, which like I love to talk.
Me too.
And it's very fun, and like sometimes we just need that time, but like maybe agreeing with your friends that like, okay, we can blow off steam for 10 minutes, but then we're gonna focus for the last 40 minutes. So just finding people that you can like succeed with, and then having a schedule. I think like a lot of kids, and I think myself included, we're just like, we get home and we're like, okay, what do I do now? And like the whole afternoon is available to me. And I think having some structure to your day, like what are you going to do? Are you going to pack your backpack for the next day? Or are you going to sit down and do your homework right away and get it over with? Or are you like going to wait and procrastinate? Which never feels good, but I understand that we do that.
Sometimes it happens. How do you feel about like teaching or talking to students about things like current political and international topics, like recent elections, or like the wars that are happening? And do you think it's like important for students to be educated about these things?
I do think it's important for kids to be educated. I have struggled with teaching 7th grade. This is my first year with 7th grade. With older kids, it is easier because they just have more background knowledge, and usually there aren't as many like restrictions from like what parents want their kids to know. But I do believe that information is power, and having context for a lot of things makes understanding every piece of learning easier. And so that's why I have like our article of the week each week, so that you're just exposed to at least one news story. And so I think I want to give kids the ability to be informed. Obviously, like my personal opinions are not important, and so I try to avoid giving them. But yeah, I guess I try to present what is happening with ethical and responsible and credible sources. And so kids can make a good decision, and then parents are comfortable with what you're learning.
Yeah. Cool. So we kind of covered a lot of the questions pretty quick. But is there anything else you would like to say to students or other teachers or just people in general about anything?
I think if 7th graders or 8th graders listening to this, that like you can ease up on the pressure that you have for yourself. I see that. I'll wait for that. Take the pressure off. I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I have to know what I'm going to do in high school and I have to know what I'm going to do in college. You don't need to know that yet. I think like 7th and 8th grade, you're just like learning how to be a high school student. So like lean into the structures that your teachers are giving you and like practice being a student, but like know that you will struggle and that's completely normal.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for asking me.
Wow, that was great. She is a great teacher and apparently a great interviewee. That was awesome, right? And I love that advice. Just like taking it one day at a time, not overstressing anything. You know, you don't have to have your whole life planned out when you're in 7th grade. That's impossible. So just, enjoy your life while you're living it. Up next, I have my conversation with Tony, which I won't keep you from for long. So let's get right into it. And here it is. All right. So what did you think about that interview, Tony?
It was good. She seems like such a sweet person. Like she seems like she knows how to like teach very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she's a great teacher. So you want to just jump right into the questions?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so I asked her like how she wanted to, or how she knew she wanted to become a teacher. So instead of you saying how you want to be, how you knew you want to be a student, because kind of have to be. What do you think you want to do when you grow up? Or when you're older?
I have like three main things. I would like to be an actor, which would be like hard. But my second one, I was really interested in being a lawyer
Mm-hmm.
and then a cop.
Oh, cool.
And they're all different aspects from each other.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But still, yeah, that's cool. So, second question. I asked her what does she like about being a teacher? What do you like about school, or do you like school?
I don't think anyone truly likes school, but like the fact of like learning and like that's really fun. Not the doing so much work,
Yeah.
but like just learning many things. It's like I think it's very important even if you don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think makes for a good teacher and a good student?
I think for being a good teacher, just honestly like listening to your students and
Mm-hmm.
what they have. Like, don't be rude. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's like a universal thing. Don't be rude. Treat people how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And same goes for students. Like, you shouldn't be disrespecting your teachers. It's just not nice
Yeah.
to be a good student. Like, you don't have to like try to do your work
Mm-hmm.
like as much as you can, but if you can't do it, it's fine because you're still learning.
What do you think? We talked about this a little bit in the mental health episode, but what do you think schools specifically can do to support students' health? They can be like physical health or mental health, but mainly focusing on mental health.
I think schools are definitely trying to expand in that area.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that there's many like different resources you can go to, like at school, like to calm down, or if you need a break with like the guidance counselor or something like that. So they're definitely like trying to be better.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. What do you think about politics in schools? And do you think it's important for students to learn about, like wars in other countries or like the recent elections? Do you think it's important for kids to be educated on that? And if so, kind of like, how do you think schools should go about doing this?
I think it is very important to know about many things because some people can just be overall clueless and have no idea what's going on. So I think it's very important to like, hey, this is what's happening in this country and this is what the other country's doing to help it.
Yeah.
Or just in politics in general. I think schools should do this, like, obviously in like history classes. Like, I think like your teacher was saying, what was the article thing you guys do?
Oh, it's like a article of the week. So she gives us like a little article from like New York Times or Wall Street Journal or something, and we have to read it and annotate it and then write like a 1-page reflection on it. So it just like I think it kind of gives us just like a little bit of news if we don't get any else.
Now, I think that's very smart. You're not like forcing your beliefs on the children. You're not like sharing it in like a wrong way. You're showing like this is what's going on in the world. This is what I'm showing you.
Yeah, like just straight up the facts.
Yeah, like this is the world we're living in. Just read about it, write about it, and there you go.
Cool. All right, so this was kind of fast, but is there anything you want to add about like schools or education or anything?
Not really. I think the education system, it's slowly getting better.
Well, I mean, this isn't really part of the interview, and maybe you cut this out later, but just why not for fun? What do you think like about there's so much stuff in the news right now about the new administration and different just so much stuff in politics. What is your take on it for fellow kids, maybe if they don't really understand it, or just even if they do, or adults? Like what's your take on the whole situation right now?
I think, well, I watch the news. I just don't read about it, or like I know the important things. I just don't follow up on it,
Yeah.
But I would think like get both sides of everything.
Okay.
Or if there's multiple sides, get every side of everything,
Mhm.
and then make your final decision on whatever. If you're voting for something, make sure you really do your research, or like stuff like that. Like just make sure you know every side.
Mhm.
That I think that goes for everyone, even if it's not in politics or whatever. Yeah, so I think it's just easy. Like you can kind of like get caught up in everything,
Mhm.
and so looking at both sides just gives you like the overall opinion of what's going on. So I think that's what everyone should be doing.
Cool. That's really smart. All right. Sweet. Thank you for doing this, Tony.
I love doing it. No problem.
I think this was a pretty good episode too.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, well, bye listeners.
Bye.
Well, not quite bye for me yet. I'm still here. I'm always here, just yapping into your ear. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I think that all of the advice about, taking it one day at a time, you don't have to have your whole life planned out when you're in 7th grade, and having a good routine after school, I think that's super key. Finding things that you like to do and kind of having a life outside of school is really important. I also liked Tony's advice at the end of our conversation about with everything in the world and in politics right now, kind of seeing everybody's perspective, all of the viewpoints, and having all the information can kind of give you some direction and help you find out what you want to support and believe in throughout all of the chaos happening right now. So yeah, enjoy being a kid. If you're an adult, then hey, you get to pay taxes. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this brand new episode, and we'll see you again shortly on The Perfect Daughter. The Perfect Daughter is a Rizzle Dizzle Entertainment original. I'm your host, Ellen. The Perfect Daughter is produced, mixed, made, and edited by me. Special thanks to my mom, Virginia Patterson, for help with the website, which you can go check out for more information about The Perfect Daughter. The theme music was written, produced, mixed, and made by me, and you can find more episodes and minisodes of The Perfect Daughter on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Remember, no one is perfect. Bye!